My kids were being hurt with entitlement. They were being hurt with people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand. And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them.
Famous last words from Ruby right there, who's actually supposed to be appearing in court today for a speeding offence, a traffic offence. It's not for the reasonings that all of us would have thought about. And if you haven't heard already, I think this came out like last month or something, where we found out that she'd actually pleaded not guilty to going a 50 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. So I'll throw up the documents here. You can find more of it out on the Reddit thread, or if you're nifty enough on the computer, I'm sure you can find it yourself. And we're also going to get into the fact that Jodi Hildebrand is no stranger to the courtroom either. So she has actually, I found these documents out on the Reddit thread as well, but she has been in trouble for like copyright infringement and basically like being a part of this company and then them having a bit of a falling out. So the company then basically asked her to remove, X, Y, and Z from websites and, logos, etc., which I'll get into more information, to which she basically ignores it. So I suppose they then had to take her to court. So this whole situation of them two, like, how is that living in your truth? How are any of this? I know these things are minor compared to what is going on right now, but I do still think it is like they both hold everyone else to such a high standard until you then realise the kind of stuff that they get up to. Like, you have to practice what you preach. Don't be around here telling everyone, how everyone should be behaving, how we're all living in distortion, when in actuality, Jodi's out here stealing other people's things. And, Ruby's out here speeding away down the motorway. I mean, I'm just not understanding it. Now, Ruby was issued this fine just days before her arrest. And on the 18th of September, she pleaded not guilty. The court date is now set to today, which is the 14th of November at 4:30 p.m. Utah time. Now, if you're over here in the UK, you're probably not going to hear about it until much later on at night, or you're going to hear about it tomorrow morning, because I do believe we're about 7 or 8 hour away difference. So yeah, but I can't quite believe that she's even fighting this, especially considering what is even going on, because she would have appeared, she would have made her plea after all of this has now gone down, after she was arrested. So in what like, you might as well just say guilty and just get it over and done with. Like, why are you wanting just to stand in court and argue with it? I mean, considering the charges that have been put on her, 6 counts of child abuse. What is this? And you're out here fighting a speeding ticket? I'm pretty sure I actually read in those documents that the fine would have been about $160 if I have read that correctly. Which is, I mean, I don't think she'd have any way of paying it now she's in jail, but I'm just thinking, do you know what I mean? Bigger fish to fry, bigger things going on. What are you playing at? But talking about their criminal case, because of course this is traffic court, talking about their criminal case, we haven't heard anything yet. There's no more additional information about when their next hearing could be, but we're still waiting for it. And I understand that the last court hearing got pushed back because of the amount of information, but that was a little while ago. So I'm very interested to know exactly what information has come out and how and why that has pushed this hearing back so much. Is it because they just don't have enough space to fit the case in, or is it well and truly because there is just so much information for the lawyers to go through? I'm definitely not a legal expert, so my guess is as good as anyone else's at this point.
Somebody said in a post, like, exploring their sexuality at 12 is reasonable. It's like, what? Why in the world is a 12-year-old exploring their sexuality? They're supposed to be out playing with animals and little girls and going to school learning about, science.
Well, if Jodi had been learning science and, playing with animals outside, then she would have stayed away from copyright infringement. I found this over on the Reddit thread, and she basically had partnered up or had been given a certain leverage with this company's license to be able to distribute and use some of their materials. So this company is called Lifestar, who specialize in helping porn addictions and various different addictions and aiding you in recovery. So it is really quite specific. Now, it does actually state in these documents that under the license, Miss Hildebrandt was appointed a provider of the program within the territory and was granted a non-transferable license. So she was able to use trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets and other intellectual property rights within the territory that she was then given. However, there was, according to these documents, there was a series of, I forgot what they even called it, due to a series of events. Lifestyle basically tried to, detract that and tried to stop her from becoming, a distributor or whatever they were saying. And Jodi basically did not comply with these demands. On December 2012, they sent a letter to Miss Hildebrandt providing a notice of termination, which was going to be terminated the following year. So she did actually have plenty of time to take everything down from her website, because I do believe, according to these documents, a lot of it was revolved around Jodi Hildebrandt's website, where she would basically keep up and have all of the logos from Lifestar and have credentials and have this and that. So it made it look like she was a part of their company, that she was working for them. But of course they had a falling out. Now I would love to know what this little falling out was about, because we do know that Jodi Hildebrandt, one of her main niches, one of her main credentials was the fact that she specialized in porn and substance abuse, porn addiction, something a bit like that. She kind of just worked with addiction issues, mostly revolving around porn and the like, which I just don't understand how and why she would ever want to do it when she is so dead against just any of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like she's just not the person for the job.
Jodi Nan Hildebrandt?
Yes.
Now, after all of this had happened, after the termination of the license, July 31st, 2013, she continued to use the website using Lifestyle's trademarks and materials, which was not what she was supposed to be doing. So then after all that, on August 30th, they sent her another letter, which was once again met with nothing. And this basically carried on going until, Lifestyle, well, this is what it is, them writing out to the court. I don't actually know what happened, what the end result was. I can't find any documentation anywhere. I do understand, 110%. Can you imagine putting all your hard work, you've got this big company, you've got good credentials, you're actually distributing people to also be a part of your work, and then someone like Jodi comes along and just ends up stealing all of your stuff and you can't get through to her. Now, can you imagine if that company still had ties with her in this kind of time period? People would be like, what the hell? Who are this company? Imagine how bad they would look. And this is exactly the reason why this kind of stuff, you can't just go stealing people's credentials, you can't just go stealing people's logos, because they'll then think that you're affiliated with that company. Now, obviously, everyone knows this. Everyone knows that copyright infringement is not a good thing to do. But this woman thinks she is above the law. The amount of things that we have heard her do that are just unlawful. And I'm not just talking about the 6 counts of child abuse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the other things. I talk about all the other things we've heard, even with Adam Steed, what she did to Adam Steed back in the day, when she basically wrecked his whole entire existence by reporting him. I think it was reporting him to BYU, and he lost everything. He also lost his wife and his kids. But the point is that, and that's one of the reasons why she got her license suspended and then given back to her. But the point I'm trying to make is that these two literally think that they are above the law. Well, they must do, because they've got convicted of this. But even before this, they were getting up to all sorts of little shady things. And I just think they used to spend so much of their time preaching, so much of their time just telling us how we should be and how we should treat other people and how we should raise our kids, and our way of thinking is wrong. When in actuality, they're the ones, it's them. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to share these 2 little bits with you. Today, which is the 14th of November 14th, 4:30 Utah time. It is Ruby Franke's traffic court arrangement traffic court date. I mean, at this point, why is she still fighting? Why? Just stop it. Like, there's no point. She's not even going to be out to drive anyway. She's not even going to be bloody let out. She's probably going to go to prison. So there's no point. Like, just bloody just pay it, or just say guilty. Like, at this point, it's so dumb. But I'm glad that they are not letting her off the hook with these things, considering that what she's actually, what she's going to go in for is a hell of a lot worse than obviously getting a speeding ticket. But I'm glad that she's still being held accountable, and I would actually really like to know what the hell was the end result in Jodi and Lifestar's disagreement. Did they actually end up going to court? I really need to do some further digging on that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.